Hey everyone, welcome to episode 20 of the Lewis Cooper Experience podcast. Experience 20 of these now. It's going to get to the point where the episode numbers are going to be higher than the actual number of views, but you know, who cares? If you're watching this, I appreciate you. Thank you, it's really nice of you. I want to talk about a few things this week. The finale of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I want to give a little predictions for the, sorry I hit the table, the Oscars, which is tomorrow as I record this Sunday, which will be Monday morning here, and a couple more figures and stuff. So yeah, so I've got something in my throat, a frog in my throat I think. Remember when Kermit the Frog used to say, "Excuse me, I've got a man in my throat"? That's a good joke, that's good humour. So it was the final episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier, came out yesterday on Disney Plus. If you haven't watched it yet, then be careful for spoilers. I won't go into too much detail, but you're better off just watching it. I mean, why would you be watching this if you hadn't seen it? But yeah, I liked it. I've really liked this whole series more than I thought I would, and I thought I'd like it. But you know, like I said before, they're not my main two guys that I like. But yeah, I really enjoyed this whole series. And as I've said before, John Walker, US Agent, is one of my favourite, like old school, well not old school, but kind of obscure kind of characters in the Marvel comics, and like to get his like origin story in this big budget thing is super cool. And like the moment where he put the suit on, they called him US Agent for the first time, which I wasn't sure if they'd go all the way with that, but they sure did, and they made it kind of fit, which was quite cool, cause it sounds a bit out of nowhere, that name, but it fit in the context. That was my favourite moment of the whole thing. I love that. And you know, now that they're talking about doing Captain America 4, I mean, he's got to be in that. So to see US Agent on a big screen is just something I never thought. You know, reading Avengers comics and stuff when I was a kid, and you know, just this like kind of random character. I just never thought that would be a thing. We live in a good time where you know these super nerd things are being made and just great. You know, it's awesome. But yeah, I liked Sam's new Captain America costume. Which, you know, kind of knew that was coming, obviously, and it was looks like it did in the comics, but also I saw like an action figure of it a little while ago, which kind of spoiled the look for me a little bit. But you know, I always found it weird that, you know, it was always the thing. I mean, that happened a long time ago. Falcon became Captain America, which is cool, but like, I always thought it was a bit weird that he has the wings and the shield. I thought you really need both of those things. Like, if I was Falcon and I had wings and I was proficient with these wings, adding a shield into the mix probably makes it all more complicated, but he used them both in conjunction. It worked really well and it all looked really good. I mean, the whole like flag smasher thing, like it wasn't the most exciting thing, but it didn't take anything away from it for me. Like I say, US Agent was my main thing, and I liked they didn't overdo it on the wacky banter between Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I like their whole relationship. I like the whole, you know, little things like fixing the boat and stuff like that, and just all that little backstory stuff. And Isaiah Bradley, I thought that his whole thing was done really well, and like those scenes had a real sort of gravity to them. And it's, you know, it's quite a deep subject matter about a black man being Captain America and kind of what that means and that. And you know, that kind of, yeah, it's deeper than you expect these things to go, but also it's really important to represent these things in many ways. But yeah, it's yeah, I say overall I really liked it. We've got a bit of a gap until the Loki series in June, which is fine with me. I don't mind waiting for these things. It's nice to have a little gap in between. The Star Wars animated series, The Bad Batch, which is a spin-off of Clone Wars, is debuting on May 4th appropriately. And I might do some reviews of that. I don't know. I'm going to watch it because I love the Clone Wars and Rebels, and this is just more of that kind of world. But maybe I'll review it, maybe I won't. I don't know if as many people watch it as this, obviously, as Falcon and the Soldier. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. On to the next bit. So the Oscars. I got my phone at the ready because I've got the nominees on here, and I want to give my predictions. And it was easier than writing them down, so my face is going to be a bit brighter. So I hope that's okay. In fact, I turn the brightness down a little bit just to make it look a bit more even. Not that you really care, you know. Yeah, I know no one really cares about the Oscars. Like, it's not really a big thing for me. It's kind of like sport. Like, I don't really watch sport, so like the film awards are like my sport, where I kind of go, oh, who's going to win, and make predictions and that. So it's been difficult because the Oscars were put back a bit, and we've got really poor release dates of the films over here, just because of the way the world is at the moment, which is fine. You know, films are not the most important thing in the world. God, stop knocking the table, you big idiot. But I've seen most of them. I've seen, of all the Best Picture nominees, of which there is 5, 6, 7, 8, I've seen all but 2, so that's pretty good. The only ones I haven't seen is The Father with Anthony Hopkins and Olivia Colman, and Nomadland with Frances McDormand. I think my favourite out of the ones I've seen was probably Sound of Metal or The Trial of Chicago 7. They were both really good, and you can watch them on Prime and Netflix respectively. So I think Promising Young Woman was really good as well. That's on Sky or Now TV. Judas and the Black Messiah was good. They're all pretty solid films from what I've seen, as you'd expect. I think Nomadland will win, because that's one that I haven't seen, which is a weird prediction to make, but judging by the awards leading up to it, that seems to have taken Best Picture. And I think Chloe Zhao is my pick for Best Director as well, because again, that's kind of the trend that's been going, and often Best Director and Best Picture kind of go hand in hand. Yeah, sorry, a thing just popped up on my screen. So I saw one of Chloe Zhao's previous films, which was a film called The Rider. Hang on, bear with me. There's a film called The Rider, which was a very interesting film. I won't go too much into it, about a Bronco rider, and it was based on a true story, and the people in the story played themselves in the films, and none of them were professional actors, but it was a really, really good film. So she's made that, another indie film, Nomadland, which is a big indie film, getting a lot of awards consideration, and her next film is The Eternals for Marvel, because that's the way it goes. You make a couple of indies, you get a big budget Marvel film. But that's my pick. Best Actor, my official pick is Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which was a really good little film, and I don't know anyone else that's seen it. It was based on a play, and he was fantastic. And obviously, if he wins, it's like when Heath Ledger won, people say, it's because he died that he won. And it's like, no, it's a completely deserving performance. He was very theatrical, as the kind of the play atmosphere of the film kind of required, but he was really serious in places and just very charismatic and musical, and it was really, really good. Riz Ahmed was really good as in The Sound of Metal as well, so I'd like to see him possibly win it as well. I think Best Actor is probably the most interesting category, and Best Actress actually. You've got the two kind of old stalwarts who already have Oscars, Anthony Hopkins and Gary Oldman. You've got Riz Ahmed, who's the first Muslim actor to be nominated for lead actor, and Stephen Yeun, who's the first Korean actor to be nominated for Best Actor. But Chadwick Boseman is my official pick. Best Actress is also a really interesting category. Again, I'm going with Viola Davis from Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, because again, incredible. I think Vanessa Kirby and Kerry Mulligan are good shouts as well for Pieces of Woman and Promising Young Woman. And Frances McDormand has 2 already, so she's always a favourite. But my official pick, Viola Davis. I'll only do the big main categories because they're the things I know best. I'm not qualified to talk about things like cinematography and editing and stuff like that. I don't really know. I'm not an expert, no matter how much I pretend to be. Best Supporting Actress is interesting as well, because Maria Bakalova, I believe her name is, from Borat 2. I love that they have to put the full silly title for Borat 2, Borat subsequent movie film, etc, etc. Because that's a really interesting inclusion. She was great in that film because she was fully committed to this bit she was doing. But I think it'll be the actress from Minari, and I can't really pronounce her name because it's a Korean name, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but it's Yoon Yoo-young, I believe it is pronounced. I think she's going to get it. She's won a lot of the awards in the run-up, and she was very, very good in that film as well. I've just noticed Best Animated Feature that Onward is nominated, because I forgot about that because it came up just when the pandemic started, and I absolutely loved Onward. I think Soul will win Best Animated, but Onward was... I don't watch that many Pixar films for no real reason. I don't know why I've never gone into Pixar apart from Toy Story, but I watched Onward and I loved it. It ruined me. But yeah. Best Director, as I've already said, Chloe Zhao is my official pick for that. I've just gone off of the page on my phone where it was. That's my official pick. Best Supporting Actor. This is a tricky one because I think it'd be Paul Raci for Sound of Metal. If you want to see my review of Sound of Metal, elsewhere on my channel, I realise this is going on a bit, but bear with me. He's one of those ones where as soon as he came on the screen, I was like, yeah, I get it. This is great already. He's a very charismatic performance. Sacha Baron Cohen is nominated for Trial of Chicago 7, which is also very good. And Lakeith Stanfield and Daniel Kaluuya from Judas and the Black Messiah. Somehow they're both Best Supporting Actor, even though one of them must have been the lead by default, right? And Leslie Odom Jr. from One Night in Miami, who was really good as well. But that is a great category. They're all fantastic performances. I recommend all those films as well. But I think Paul Raci's Sound of Metal will win it. And then screenplay, I won't go into those too much. I think they'll probably follow suit. But yeah, so I'm gonna say I won't go into the more detailed ones just because, you know, it's not really something I'm qualified to comment on. But yeah, those are my kind of overall sort of picks really. But yeah, so if you care about that sort of thing, then there you go. And if you don't, then I hope you skip the last few minutes, because yeah. But I would really recommend several of the films I mentioned: Sound of Metal, One Night in Miami, both on Prime. Trial of Chicago 7's on Netflix. Promising Young Woman is on Sky, Now TV. There's some others as well. I think those are probably the main ones I've really enjoyed. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is quite good if you're in the mood for that sort of thing. It's like a film about kind of blues and jazz in like the 1930s, I want to say, maybe a little bit later than that, possibly maybe 1950s. I can't remember, I watched it months ago, but yeah. So yeah, check those out. And lastly, some action figure stuff. So you may remember last week I showed these in the boxes. I've got the Marvel Legends Magneto in his all-white costume, which is a bad idea. It's got to be a nightmare to wash. They live on Krakoa, which is like a big island, and it's got to be a bit muddy in that. Yeah, I've already got a little spot on him there. I mean, it's a cool look, especially in the comics, not so much in the figure. But yeah, then we've got Wolverine. There he is. That's one of the heads he comes with. He's got a little beard. I like your little beard. But yeah, he's cool. He's a really nice posable figure. They've got the height difference right as well, because Wolverine is quite short, especially compared to Magneto. But I've got a couple more this week, so these are the only ones I'm going to get from this line. I'm not going to get any other ones, I think. I just like these ones. So I've got Professor Xavier, who has his cool little Cerebro helmet on, because if he didn't, it would be a very boring figure. It's just a black bodysuit with a man with a bald head. Just notice his eyes are closed in that bald head as well. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Like I say, very simple. It's just an all black suit, pretty simple look. But I thought, you know, I like the design. You can see on the side there the one out of the comic book, and there as well. But yeah, he's pretty cool. I look forward to unboxing these. You can probably pose him quite nicely. He's got an alternate hand that's got his two fingers when he's doing all his psychic business, or maybe he's pretending he's got a gun. But Professor Xavier wouldn't do that. He doesn't need a gun. He's already the most dangerous weapon on the planet. And this one is probably my favourite one. I've got Cyclops. And I wasn't really a big Cyclops fan as a kid watching the comic. He was like the stuffy kind of nerd. But I actually quite like him now because he's very logical and he's a good leader, etc. Apart from when he went mental and like killed everyone. But, you know, comics, everyone does that at some point. I really like this design. The costume, the black and blue. It's quite simplistic but quite nice. He comes with a normal head with a visor as normal. And then he's got an alternate one. You can't really see it from here, but it's got like a little couple of blast points on the side, and then you've got this big bit here which you kind of attach in to it to make it look like he's blasting his lasers out of his face. But I don't know how that will stand up when you do that, so that's a bit odd. But I'm going to play around with it and do that, and probably do some photos with it. I might do some photos with it and then just add in the effect of the eye thingy. Yeah, the other figures are Marvel Girl, Moira McTaggart, and Omega Sentinel, which, you know, I quite like the Marvel Girl one. I didn't see it in the shop though when I brought these, but you know, the thing with Marvel Legends is I like to get some of them, but I don't want to collect the whole line unless, like, I collected the Fantastic Four line because I love Fantastic Four and I wanted all of them, and the Super Skrull Builder figure. That's how they get you. And I collected all the Symbiote line I did recently because I really wanted the Venom Pool figure, which is awesome and huge. Like, it's as big as like the Thanos one that I've got. But yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's my action figure news of this week. Let me know if you're looking forward to the Oscars, or if you've got any other thoughts on the other things I've talked about. Please do. I really like it when people comment. And also, I think Nomadland, which again is one of the only big films from the Oscars I haven't seen, is out on Disney Plus on Friday the 30th, I think that'll be, of April. Also, I made a silly little Mortal Kombat thing yesterday, which was just something on a whim that I just knocked together in a couple of hours in the afternoon. Which, you know, if you haven't watched it, I think it's you know, it's all right. I think it's quite funny, but you know, that's just me. It seems to have gone down well, so check that out. I'll put a link to it at the end. Let me know what you think of that. And yeah, that's about it for me this week. I did a couple of shout outs this last week, and I want to give a little shout out to my mate Ali, who tells me he always watches my videos. So this will be the test if he actually does. But yeah, so hello Ali, I hope you enjoyed this video, and it's probably time for you to get off the toilet now because you've been sitting there for a long time. But yeah, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Take care, see you soon, goodbye.